Hey, lifers. It's good to see you, and I hope you're having a great week. On these midweek videos that I send out, it's usually tied into something of an announcement or some kind of logistical thing. Um, but today I just want to talk to you. Just take a couple of minutes and just talk to you from my heart. Uh, we're in just some of the most intense times uh, that I've ever experienced. I mean, I lived in the '60s. I was young, but I remember the civil rights upheaval and things like that, and it was an intense time. Um, but it's different now, complicated by the COVID-19 pandemic, being sheltered in place for 3 months so far, not knowing how long it's going to go. Then on top of that, um, all the tension surrounding the tragedy with George Floyd, and then all the other things that have happened as a result of that, just created just a collision of intensity. And I'm always honest with you that you know I'm a if I was in the scriptures, I might have been Peter. That I'm quick to react, and then sometimes I think about it later. And I've had some reactions, angry reactions, frustrated reactions to everything. The pandemic, the things I've seen on the television, the racial tensions. It's been a difficult time, and I like to share those things with you when I struggle, because I know that I'm usually not the only one. And if it helps you, for me to be vulnerable, then that's a good thing. But God has been bringing me back, out of a just a place of just intense frustration and anger. Sometimes at people, sometimes at situations, sometimes at decision makers. Um, just lots of different feelings and emotions. But God has brought me back, and He's reminded me about a theological understanding, and that is the now and the not yet. And it's important to know both of those. Starting with the not yet, God has brought me back to the Revelation, and I've been reading the Revelation of Jesus Christ every day, the last book in the Bible, and reading it every day. And it's crazy. If you ever read it, it's just a crazy book, but it's real. And the beauty of the book of the Revelation is that Jesus is revealed, and the ultimate end of all things is revealed. And it's encouraging, even though it's incredible what happens, and it's destructive, and it's violent, and it's horrid in what occurs until it gets to the end. And we find that this is God bringing His ultimate plan to a conclusion. And for those of us that love Jesus Christ and are called in according to His purposes, that our security is in the not yet. Other places in the New Testament, it's called our blessed hope, and call it heaven, New Jerusalem, new creation, being with Jesus. That's coming, and that's real. So for us that know the Lord, there is truly nothing to fear. There is nothing that should make us shakeable, nothing that should make us waver, that we've got to be rock solid. Ephesians chapter 6 talks about stand firm. To not let yourself be dragged off and made to be ill at ease. Jesus said it this way: you either build your house on rock or you build it on shifting sands. He's our rock. We can build it on Him and be immovable, or we can build it on shifting sands. The ideas of men, the emotions, the decisions, the craziness that happens in our world, that changes all the time. Shifting sands. Where are we going to build our house? Well, that's the not yet. We know that that's secure. And I'm just thanking the Lord every day that we can be at rest, because the not yet is secure. But there's the now. It's the now and the not yet. The not yet gives us hope and peace and security. But the now means there's something to do. We don't just sit by and say, oh, heaven's going to come, it'll be great, good luck everybody else. That we have a responsibility. The Lord has left us here with a purpose, to reach people for Him, to make the most of every opportunity. And although, for many there may not be an exact way or understanding of how to do that, because we're sheltered in place. We can't just go out into the streets and begin to minister and love people. Some have done that via the protests and so on, but now there's concern that as a result there may be a spike in the disease. So it's just complicated, is what I'm trying to say. And but there are still ways. God is ahead of us. And I'm praying for each one of you that you will make the most of every opportunity. Whether that means call some friends, call somebody who's hurting, make contact with someone who needs some encouragement. Um, just take the time to reach out to somebody. Take the time to listen. As I told you, I tend to react first and think later, and sometimes uh, my reaction keeps me from listening. And it's important that we listen to people and to hear what they're saying and to understand what they're saying, and then we can reach out and meet their needs. Um, I just pray that you'll make the most of every opportunity in the now. For us, we've reached out to some people that have been our neighbors for years, and we've never been this connected with them. But as a result of shelter in place, we've reached out and we begin to make some contact with them in an appropriate way, of course, respecting all the guidelines. But it's been beautiful to begin to make those friendship contacts, and there are many ways that you can do it, whether it's virtually or in person. But I just pray that you will embrace the now because of the not yet. That there are people who are going to go into eternity without Jesus, and they need him. So let the not yet motivate your now. That there are people who need God's touch. And I pray that you'll pray every day. Pray every day for an opportunity. Pray every day for wisdom. Pray every day for creativity to know how to speak to people, how to reach people, how to write to people, or do something kind to people. Pray every day. God, grant me creativity. Give me an idea. Give me a name so that we won't let this season pass and we'll miss it. Right now just might be the greatest time for people to listen. When they're frustrated, they're feeling hopeless, they're feeling confused, and a believer in Jesus Christ can come into their life and show them some truth and some love. I love you so much. Miss you. Miss seeing you. And I look forward to the day when we'll be back together again soon, whenever that is. I hope it's soon. But Lord willing, you will practice the now and the not yet every day. God bless you. And let's be the body of Christ, even when we can't gather like the body of Christ. You are very loved. Have a great week, Lifers.